In terms of wrap up and review for this module, I feel the key takeaways are as follows. The brain, which is the hardware, and the mind, which is the software, are involved in everything that happens in our bodies and in our lives. When our brains and minds are in trouble, our health and life are in trouble. When our brains and minds work right, we work right. The brain is densely packed. There are more connections in the brain than there are stars in the universe and cells in the body. It may not take up much volume, only 2% of the body's weight, but it uses 20 to 30% of the body's calories and upwards of 20 to 25% of oxygen and blood flow. Because the brain is upwards of 60% fat and most toxins are fat soluble, the brain is a prime target for damage caused by excessive toxins in the body. Brain injuries come in all forms: physical, biochemical, environmental, and emotional. Chronic unhealthy stress, particularly psychological, kills cells throughout the entire brain, but particularly the hippocampus, which is our memory center. People with unhealthy brains are prone to myriads of health and life challenges. Most people are on the spectrum of brain and autonomic nervous system dysfunction to some degree due to a series of health insults over many years and spending more time in a stress state than in a state of rest and digest. Brain and nervous system damage typically brews beneath the surface for upwards of a decade before it manifests as symptoms, illness, and disease. Chronic fatigue, brain fog, depression, fibromyalgia, migraines, fragility, anxiety, burnout syndrome, lack of focus, and neurodegenerative diseases all have the same underlying dysfunction at their core, which includes mitochondrial dysfunction, leaky and dysfunctional gut-brain barrier syndrome, microglial activation or excitotoxicity, neuroinflammation, neurotransmitter imbalances, low vagal tone, endocannabinoid system dysfunction, limbic system impairment, and autonomic nervous system dysfunction. The grand majority of the root cause stressors that lead to this deep-level dysfunction are lifestyle in nature. Sensory overload, which has become more the norm than the exception in today's world, is a significant root cause stressor in brain and nervous system dysfunction. We live in an age where our nervous systems are being continually stressed by excessive emails, social media notifications, flickering lights from tech devices, cell phone sounds, and the need to continually check email and social media, and the list goes on. Whether you are conscious of it or not, this constant stimulation places immense stress on the brain and the nervous system that is not normal or healthy. And lastly, healing the brain, nervous system, and psyche absolutely begins with education and lifestyle medicine above anything else. Okay, so the food for thought is this. Imagine you were hired to give a paid talk on brain and nervous system health in the 21st century at your local library. The talk can only be an hour in length, excluding Q&A. How would you begin the presentation? What main points would you include in your talk from either just this module or from various modules in this program? How would you end the presentation? What questions would you anticipate? As I stated at the beginning of this module, you're likely going to have clients come your way with significant neuroinflammation going on. Many, if not all, will not be easy to work with. There is a good chance that they will try your patience and lack follow-through on the action steps that you co-create with them. In terms of working with these clients, here are some of my pointers. First up, have clear expectations and standards right from the start and be sure to maintain firm but compassionate boundaries around them. Second, have the principles of SCARF, which include status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness, written out and within clear vision on your desk as a constant reminder for how to conduct yourself during coaching sessions. This will help to ensure that you create a safe environment and that you don't unconsciously trigger your client, who is likely easily triggered due to their brain and nervous system dysfunction. Number 3, have a simple, clearly planned out agenda for each session that you articulate to your client at the onset of each session. This will help to satisfy the social need for certainty within the SCARF acronym. Fourth, keep session plans simple. Listen more than you speak. Reflect back to the client what you hear them say frequently, and always ask for affirmation that you understood them correctly and vice versa. Number 5, in the case of severe neuroinflammation, always begin with the lowest hanging fruit in terms of deciding what to tackle first. Ask yourself, what stressors are the most obvious and weighing the client down the most? Number 6, seek to implement interventional strategies that will yield quick wins in terms of helping the client to experience some sort of improvement or gain, no matter how small, and help them realize the gains they make. This will be super important in terms of gaining their trust and nurturing their belief in their ability to heal, as well as cultivating a mindset for healing and personal success. A quick win does not always necessarily need to be an improvement in their physical symptoms. It can be any kind of improvement as long as it is measurable in some way. For instance, it may be as simple as getting your client started on a gratitude journal each day, and as a result, their mindset becomes a little more stable. Or it may be recommending that they replace grains in their diet with root vegetables and winter squashes, and as a result, they experience a little less bloating. Number 7, keep recommended action steps to a minimal and always ask for their agreement in them as well as their ability to implement them without causing further overwhelm. And lastly, to save yourself the frustration of having to continuously repeat things from client to client, begin creating a library of handouts and short videos that you can provide to your clients on a variety of questions that they may ask and issues they may encounter. For example, how to properly titrate supplements, the difference between a negative reaction and a die-off symptom and ways to navigate, pitfalls to avoid when implementing a gut healing elimination diet, lifestyle habits to adopt for healing one's brain and nervous system, simple and practical exercises to weave into one's daily routine to calm the stress response. Yes, creating these materials will take you time, effort, and creativity, but once they are done, they're done. And you can reuse them over and over, and not just in one-on-one coaching, but also in masterclasses, as free downloads, and in group programs. You will also save yourself tons of frustration by not having to type out long responses each time a client asks you for an involved question. And this brings me to the end of this video and to the end of yet another module, if you can believe that. This said, don't forget to check out the PDF guide for targeted supplement recommendations for the brain, mitochondria, gut-brain axis, and neurotransmitter support that is included with the module material. Until next module, happy studying and learning to you.